of up, about packed up. Slept pretty good last night. I ended up having to use my earplugs because it was quite windy. But luckily, it was only windy at the very front of my Jeep here, because I was able to kind of hide behind this rock right here. That helped a lot. We got these views. We got these cool little cave things going on. I'm sure kids would like this. Climb up on there. I might climb up on there and take a picture actually. And then over here, of course, we got this gorgeous, awesome, magical view of the Needles. And then over here with the Henrys right there, I think, or the LaSalles. No, those are the LaSalles. And then all that country. I don't know if you can even see it, but pretty sure Canyonlands is right there, the Needles district. Got this cool little outcropping up here, which would be really cool for like a ground tent, a small ground tent. But overall, pretty good campsite. Plan is to head out. I think I'm gonna go down Poison Spring Canyon instead of Height Road. It's rougher, but it's about 20 miles shorter. And honestly, I think I may be pressed for gas. Even with bringing 7 extra gallons, I'm gonna be pressed on fuel. So next time I come in here, I'm bringing probably 10, maybe more, probably 10. Yeah, should be a good day. So this is the wall campsite. The view is pretty spectacular, but I mean, it's very exposed. Look at that view there. But yeah, you're just exposed, totally exposed. There's no shade, no windbreaks. So yeah, the wall campsite. The view is pretty spectacular of this stuff, and it's by far the biggest, actually. By far the most space that I've seen at the campsites that I've stopped at. But it's very, very exposed. Look at that landscape. It's just crazy looking. just got out of the Dollhouse trail. Should be fairly easy sailing from here. It was a fun trail. I did completely mess up the lens of my 360 camera. So we're out, heading down back to the turn off and then down Poison Spring Canyon. As you can see, obviously, I've switched to a drone now. I have just left the national park boundary at this point, onto BLM land, so I am free to fly. Honestly, Poison Springs Canyon was way more and way cooler than I was even expecting. It was kind of just like supposed to be a scenic route out of the Dollhouse, but it ended up being one of the highlights of the trip, honestly, other than the Dollhouse itself. This trail is amazing. It's just constant views, constant canyons. The end of it's kind of like Onion Creek, where you're just crisscrossing the stream, the creek, over and over again. It has mesas, it has high views, then you're down in some canyons. Tons of colors. It's a crazy, amazing trail. And I would definitely recommend. At this point of the trail on the shelf road,
I kept catching glimpses of this beautiful looking white canyon off to the left here, and it kept just kind of playing peekaboo with me. Uh, right up here, I decided to pull off and send the drone over to check it out, and I'm really glad I did. At this point of the trail, it seemed like around every corner was just an amazing view off to the left here of these canyons, just over and over again. At this point, the trail starts dropping down off these kind of high views into these canyons more. I'm coming up on the only notable obstacle of this whole trail that was mentioned on any guides, and that's the Dirty Devil River crossing. I wasn't worried about it really at all, but in hindsight, if it would have been flowing too high to cross, I probably would have been in real trouble because I wouldn't have had fuel to get out at this point. I couldn't have turned around and backtracked. If you've noticed, I've transitioned away from the drone for the rest of this video really. It was just way too windy. For whatever reason, I decided to bring my mini drone instead of my full-size drone. And it was just fighting for its dear life against this wind the entire time. I was just blowing through batteries. I was afraid I might lose it from the wind over that river crossing. So that's why. Lesson learned, bring the full-size drone. Coming up on these frozen river sections was honestly so just weird because it was like 75 degrees and I just was not expecting frozen rivers on this trip. As you can probably tell, this trail from here on to the end of it basically, or almost the end of it, just follows the creek, just follows the water. And I never seen it mentioned in any of the guides, but I would not recommend trying this trail out if there's rain in the forecast, because you're right in the flood zone, flash flood zone, just crisscrossing it in and out of it for quite a while here. I have no idea how many times you cross the water. I should have counted. It seemed like a lot. I don't know if it's more or as much as Onion Creek does, but it certainly seemed like it would compete with that amount of river crossings, water crossings, whatever you want to call it.
Poison Springs has been really cool so far. It reminds me a lot of Onion Creek by Moab. Better in some ways. It just reminds me of Onion Creek because of you're constantly crossing the water and the river, as you can see here. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful trail. Stopped here to look at some petroglyphs. I don't know why people have to do that. Seriously, please don't do this. Nobody wants your initials and words and shit in what could be 1,000-year-old carving. Nobody cares, DLT. But please don't do that. Ridiculous. I'm gonna grab a bite to eat. I haven't ate yet and it's 2 o'clock, so starving. It's time for an energy drink too. Cubs, you ready for some food? You can get your coat off, it's like 70 degrees. Well, we made it back to pavement here. My fuel light just turned on, literally the last turn of the dirt road. It says I have 28 miles range. Hanksville is like 10 miles from here, so I'm fine, but yeah. From the moment I left pavement to Hands Flat Ranger Station. So leaving pavement to Hands Flat to here, I have went 193 miles, which is terrible gas mileage. Technically, a tank on the highway lasts me 240 miles, but I went through a tank and 7 gallons extra gas. Yeah, that's atrocious, but it is what it is. So if you're gonna do this trip, go out into the maze, definitely bring extra gas, because that was quite a ways
And if you run out of gas out there, it'll probably be very expensive getting gas. So, yeah.